week's edition of GameBeasts Podcast. We're three, sometimes more, but not quite yet. Friends get together and chat some absolute dog shit.
Excellent. You do it far better than I do.
Well, thank
That was
you.
That was a brilliant intro.
Excellent intro. Love it. You can do that every
let's
week.
jump into it. Yeah, so I guess it's the first time that I'm running this little bit, so it's going to be a long one, right?
Hopefully.
So let's jump into what we're playing today. So what's going on? Stu, let's start with you.
Me? Oh, what am I playing? I'm playing Horizon still. It's excellent. I love it. It's great. It's really, really good. I've got nothing more coherent to say until we actually get onto it in a moment. But yeah, that's what I'm playing. That's all I've played. And I've also played in the real world. Badminton
Yeah,
again.
we don't talk about sports.
No, more matches, got dominated. In fact, I will say, last night was horrendous because we played the number one club in the county, and their team consisted of two current Shropshire County players and two ex-international England players. We
Sound
lost.
like losers, mate.
We lost.
Well, that's just straight up cheating.
Yeah, but anyway. Yeah, that Horizon, that's all I'm playing.
Decent. Carl, what you say?
I am still playing Days Gone,
Not
but
finished
I am
it?
like 99% now done. I think I've
Ooh.
literally got the last mission to do. You know when you get the sense of don't go here
So
unless
you're
you
gonna
want to be
quit.
locked out of here, here, and here kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
like when you go into a big open room and there's a save point and you're like, boss.
yep. So I think I will be done with that probably by the end of the week.
There's a giant empty room here. What does that mean?
Uh-oh. Auto-saving? What are you auto-saving for? Oh no.
Oh, I've just got one shot. Let's see ya.
So are you happy to have almost finished it? Or you...
Yeah, but I kind of I'm gonna be sad. I enjoyed it. It was a really good game.
So it's one of those you're at the end and you don't want it to end, rather
Yeah.
than finally I'm at the end.
Yeah, exactly. But I already know there's not going to be a sequel because Sony have like confirmed there won't be a sequel. So I'm sad.
And yeah, fair enough. Are you, Parky? I know you're leading this, but you need to tell us too.
I've been playing Sudoku, mate.
Nice. Counting them numbers.
You're not smart enough to play Sudoku.
Yeah, you caught me.
Mm.
Alright, you want to know? I've been playing Endwalker, Final Fantasy
Yes.
Online. Yeah. Got to level 16 now, I think I was saying. And yeah, man. I've gotten the grips with it. I still don't like the touchpad to move the mouse cursor around. That for me is annoying.
Plug a mouse in, that's what I did.
Yeah, that's what I might do. I might just get a wireless mouse and just doss around with that.
I went the full hog and got a Bluetooth mouse and keyboard for it.
Oh yeah, I had to get a keyboard as well. It makes like the key binding so much easier.
Yeah, because you can change the UI up so that it basically plays like the PC, or instead of just having buttons, you can have like a whole hotbar system.
Yeah,
it works a lot.
You
nicer.
can
I'm currently using a Black Mage, so I've got this weird thing for my Frost and Fire that boosts them and whatever, but it's stuck like almost in the middle of the screen. And I'm just sort of like, it's not letting me move it, and I'm kind of bugged about that. But
you can definitely move everything.
Yeah, I don't think my touchpad can register because it's got to be so exact on the place that you've got to move it.
Yeah, you need a mouse and keyboard really, even on console. But it's an excellent game. I think I said to you before we came on that I'm pretty sure I got one of my job classes to max level back in the day. So I think that was level 60 at the time. That was the cap. Pretty sure that was
no longer the cap.
No, but the cap at the time. So I've still got room to play the trial if I make a new character, which I probably would, because I want to join you. I'm planning on joining you.
Cool.
I can only assume it's got better, even though it was excellent back in the day. And it distracted me from uni, so what could you ask for? What more could you ask for?
That's what you need, right? So what games are we looking forward to then?
I almost bought Elden Ring when it came out on the 25th, was it? Yeah, 25th. I almost bought it, and then I thought, no, I'm gonna finish Horizon. It was kind of like, that meme where you're like walking along the horizon and then you look back at Elden Ring's ass. It
Yeah,
was exactly that. I was like,
I know what you mean. The
yeah,
temptation is there.
the temptation was there. However, and we'll talk about this in a bit. The technical problems that Elden Ring are having kind of stayed my hand. So I'm happy to stick with Horizon for now, and then I'll dump it later down the line when I finally finish it. Yeah, I'm not really looking forward to anything. I was looking forward to something, and again, we'll talk about this later. But I played the demo for it, and it was absolute dog shit. But yeah, we'll come on to
All
that.
right. About yourself, Kyle.
What was that? Sorry.
What are you looking forward to?
I don't think there's anything I'm looking forward to other than Horizon and Elden Ring. Really, there's nothing announced that coming out down the line. Maybe the Harry Potter Legacy game thing.
Has that got
Yeah,
released?
that's meant to be quite decent.
Yeah, I think it's this year. I think is the release.
Oh, right,
So
okay.
I guess you could say I'm looking forward to that in a way.
Yeah, whenever it turns up, I am actually quite
whenever.
looking forward to that.
It's probably like Q4, but
Yeah, I think we're coming up to Q2 now, and we haven't had any announcement release dates. I think Q4 is probably a safe bet, assuming it doesn't get delayed into next year.
Yeah.
Which it might do again. I mean, it was meant to be out
It
last
might
year,
do.
and it got delayed to this
It
year.
was. Yeah, it was. Fair enough.
All right. So me then. What am I looking
You.
forward to apart from the obvious one? Ghostwire.
Uh-huh.
I was looking through the
Yeah.
store today, 10% off. It's kind of screaming at me right now.
That is a
But
very good
I am
point.
going to hold off because you never know. Also, I'm going to go against what you lot might think and Gran Turismo 7.
Really?
Quite tempted to buy it. Yeah.
Didn't have
Also,
you down as a racer.
Street Fighter 6.
Ah,
I might.
yeah.
As boring as the thing that I reckon they'll put it out this year, man. I reckon they'll do something.
Well, we find out more in the summer, don't we?
Yeah, so I'm quite hyped for seeing what they do to it.
Yeah.
And
I want to make a prediction right now. And I know I've already made the prediction that I think it's going to be live service. I want to add to my prediction list. And I really need to start writing these down because I really want the credits. I also think, as well as being live service, I think they'll announce it in the summer, and it'll be like, when they announced Fallout 4, and they were like, "Oh, by the way, it's out next month." I think that's what Capcom are going to do with Street Fighter.
Yeah. I reckon they're gonna make Ryu like not the end boss, but one of the main bosses. I reckon they're gonna do what what Tekken did to Jin, where they made him the big
bad. Devil.
Well, turn him into Akuma, which is basically or Evil Ryu's already out, so that's basically it's there. So I reckon they're just gonna make him the big bad at the end of it.
Interesting. So Bison's out the way. Is it Bison? Can't remember.
Yeah, and Bison. What a
cool.
What
right.
a great villain.
What a great, really terrible villain. I just picture the M Bison from the live action film.
Yeah,
Those
he's
really
getting beaten up
pop-out
by
eyes.
Guile,
Yeah. Nah, bad film. Right. I'm excited about this bit. I'm gonna jump in here. Obviously I've said I've been playing Horizon Forbidden West and want to at least try and convey my opinion of it. Because I know, Kyle, you want to play it. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Parky, you haven't got it yet. You haven't mentioned you're looking forward to it. Are you kind of off Horizon now, or?
I never really got into it. I mean,
Right.
I still want to get it because it does look cool, but I'm still on the fence. I might wait until they try and drop their price a little more before I invest.
That's fair. Well, hopefully my opinions will sway you either way to help make up your mind. So either you'll want it, or no, maybe it's not for you, because we've got similar gaming taste, except for Street Fighter, 'cause it sucks. But so Horizon
Sucks that
is
you're shite at it. That's what it's
shut up, you. I'm an excellent gamer. Horizon is very good, but it is Horizon Zero Dawn all over again.
See, you're not the first sort of person I've heard say that.
Yeah.
I've tried to avoid spoilers, but the consensus
I
seems
won't
to
mention
be
any spoilers.
it's the same game but with a different story.
Yes,
That
it
it's
is.
just the same.
It's obviously it's the same premise: robot dinosaurs, post-apocalyptic world.
But who cares? That was great for the first game.
Well,
Give me a second one.
Exactly. What I was going to say is, it is definitely not a bad thing that it is just Horizon Zero Dawn all over again, because Horizon Zero Dawn was excellent.
Yep, and it had a great story.
I did wonder when I first started playing it, because, and this isn't a spoiler, it's just a warning, that the first couple of hours you're going to be playing, you'll start to wonder what the hell they were doing for 5 years while they were developing this, because you think, this is literally the first game, and it's like railroaded. So you're told to do something, you go and do it. You're told to do the next thing, you go and do it. You pop a couple of trophies, you plant a tree, thanks to Sony, and then you get to a place called Chain Scrape. That's the first village. Not a spoiler, but that's where the game opens up. That's when you can finally start going to explore.
Yeah.
I'd recommend not exploring until a little bit further down the line, until you get the glider, and that's all I'll say regarding story points. Because it makes exploration so much easier, and by that point you'll actually have some gear. The graphics are beautiful. This is like what Last of Us 1 was to the PS3. So it's far superior to anything else that's come out on the PS5 already. Far superior graphically to any other game I've played on any platform ever. Zooming in on photo mode to a leaf, and you can see all the details of the leaf. The hair physics are excellent. The models of the robot dinosaurs, the models of the NPCs, even things like the representation of like black characters in this game. The hair is perfect. Like, it looks real. It's not this shitty half-arsed representation of a typical black character. It's spot on, and I've seen this all over Twitter. People are praising it for how well it represents different races in the game. Aloy, when she's running through the desert, she gets hot and sweaty. That's cool. You dive into a river, cool her down, she goes back to her regular skin tone. The sweat washes off when you get out of the river. It's insane. The detail is insane, and that's where they spent the last 5 years. Because yes, it's the same as the first game, but so much better.
So they've revolutionized because PS4 was very much about, hey, let's do a weather system. Oh, look, it's dark and stormy. Oh, look, it's bright and sunny. Instead, they've gone, actually, weather's overdone. We'll add sweat.
Yes,
sweat.
And more clouds. There's more cloud boxes. It's great.
It sounds good, and I think the reason that you say it's a bit like railroady, a bit linear at the beginning, it's probably because it's one of the first sort of main PS5 games to come out, that and Elden Ring, and so you want new people to buy it, don't you? And it is a sequel, so I guess that's why you want people to pick it up even if they haven't played the first game. And kind of
I would say,
what's going on.
and I do have criticisms in the sense that if you're coming into Horizon as a new player and you haven't played the first, it doesn't do a great job of explaining who anyone is, unless you dive deep into like the bios in the settings, in the menus, and read yourself. It doesn't subtly reintroduce someone as, oh, hey, remember when we did this, or something like that. They just go straight into full-on conversation as if, they'd not even been apart for a day or whatever.
So the suggestion then is I think it might be on PlayStation Now, maybe. Probably
Yeah.
get PlayStation. Get PlayStation
I think
Now.
it's on
Get the
sale.
free trial, or get it on sale. Play the first game, then play this
Yeah,
one.
definitely play the first one if you care about the story. It gets to a point where it kind of leaves the last one behind, and all those characters, they're in it. It's just that's not the focus of the story anymore. So it's fine, but if you want to piece everything together and you've got the time, play the first one. I think it's like £9 on the PSN at the moment, something ridiculous. Also, I've had like peaks and troughs with this game. Like I said a second ago, it's railroaded at the start, and I thought, oh. But then it opened up. I was like, oh yeah, this is great. And then I found some of the traverse a little bit clunky. So sometimes I'll be trying to climb something. I'm like, it's right there, just climb. And she's just like bobbing up and down, and I'm like, just fucking jump. And then I'll jump off.
Yeah.
And I haven't had any fall damage yet, so I'm wondering if the fall damage is just really generous.
Have you ever played any of the older Assassin's Creeds?
Yes.
Yeah, that's basically it. You can climb up the side of a building, but there's a step, and you cannot make it.
Yeah.
You wanna go from the rooftop to that little rope in front of you? Nah, you just jumped in the canal.
No.
You know, it's
Yeah, you've jumped backwards. Oh.
yeah, that's how
In
it
fact,
works.
it's very reminiscent of that. It doesn't seem to know what you want to do sometimes, and then other times you'll scale an entire cliff with ease. It's so strange. Not all cliff faces are scalable. So in the settings, I've turned on the accessibility setting, which just permanently highlights the climbable walls. It's not intrusive. It's just like a little yellow line. I think it's yellow.
Like the God of War when they had the markings sort of thing.
Yes, like that.
Yeah.
But it comes up in like your typical focus display. Carl, I know what I mean.
Yeah.
So little like computer graphic, but it fits in with the story. It doesn't look intrusive. It just looks like it's meant to be there because you're wearing this focus on your head. It would make sense that Aloy could see scalable walls as part of the thing, the information that this thing gives her.
Sounds like you just need to get good.
I clearly just need to get good.
Get good.
But aside from that, you've got mounts in the game, which you had in the first one, so you can override a machine and mount it like a horse or whatever the friggin' hell they are. Chargers are from the first game. They're like the typical mount machine that you can get. There is no point in mounts in this game because they can't traverse the land like you can. They can go straight and they can go straight fast. The turning is horrible. They don't jump over rocks when they're supposed to. And if you're in an area where there's uneven terrain, you may as well just get off and run. So I don't think they've implemented mounts very well, but only because the terrain is so diverse. So it's like a negative stems from a positive because the landscape is just spectacular. The mountain ranges look fantastic. The rivers look fantastic. I've literally, and I don't do this. I'm very impatient, but when I was playing the other day, I just put the controller down for a sec and sat back and just relaxed, just next to the river. And I had my headphones on and I just listened to the river going by. I was like, this is actually quite relaxing.
Would you say it's art?
Yes.
Yes.
It is definitely
Okay.
art.
Well, now that you're hard on for Horizon's been
That's an hour
Okay.
of our time. Sorry, guys, we're all out of time.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's a very good game. Highly recommend it. There's a few niggles, but apart from that, yeah, that's all I'll say because I don't want to spoil anything.
Next one up, Elden Ring.
Elden Ring.
Oof.
Oh yes.
It looks so good.
It looks so good.
Other than
Looks
maybe
so
the
good.
floaty fall damage that might be a thing.
Yeah, but that's just a Soulsborne problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, released on the 25th of Feb.
Mhm.
Metacritic score 97.
Yep. Specific to the PS5, I think the Xbox one's slightly
Yes.
lower.
Yes.
PC significantly lower.
No, probably not. It's probably like 5 points down.
I don't know. I haven't looked at the PC one. I just grabbed the PS5 one because it was easy.
Yeah, easy cakes. But
Easy cakes.
yeah, man. Anyone played it? Anyone seen any of the gameplay for it yet? Or
I've tried to avoid it, but I have seen. I mean, I've seen the first quote unquote boss. You know, like the one that obviously isn't a boss.
you're the practice dummy that batters you.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
I haven't. I've managed to avoid that.
And I've
All I've seen
seen.
is people on horses.
Yeah, I've seen a guy on a horse that's like the first when you get to the first open area, I think is the best way to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a sort of boss that I think you're supposed to come back to later, but most people just kind of try and beat him there and then. Which is a guy on a horse, essentially, without giving too much away. But I didn't really care to watch much more than that because I thought I don't want to spoil it for myself. But it just looks good.
I'm trying to do the same media blackout type thing. I don't want to ruin it for myself.
Yeah.
I just keep seeing snippets of people on horses and running around bosses and hacking them to pieces.
That does look fun. Yeah. But a lot of people complaining about it. A lot of people were giving it negative because they thought it was meant to be From Software's, more accessible game.
Yeah.
But they were like, oh yeah, it's going to be easy. We could just walk through, play a bit before we get battered, and then 5 minutes in, they're getting slapped by everything. So a lot of people were like, oh, I don't like it. This is terrible. And it's like, well, you picked it up thinking it was going to be like I don't know, Dynasty Warriors Crash Bandicoot hybrid, and it's obviously it's From Software, man. You got to respect that they're gonna keep their games difficult, even if they do make it slightly easier for the people to try and get good.
Wasn't there a tweet or something where one of the founders or co-founders or staff members said that they have no plans to basically easy mode their games? They like doing that. They like making the games the way they are.
I would argue that
the main guy, right? I forget his name, but it's something that he's like he said about when he's growing up or his life. He had a lot of hard difficulties, and he puts that into his games.
Yeah.
So that is the main reason that he makes it so difficult.
Imagine that. I had a tough life, so now you guys will too.
Miyazaki.
He even said himself that he can't game. He sucks at gaming. But you know what I mean? So it's like he'll never be able to complete his own game, but at the same time, he'll have so much fun watching other people fail.
Yeah, sadistic, but great. It's a man after my own heart. I think I would argue that there is an easy mode in Elden Ring because by virtue of the fact that it's open world and by virtue of the fact that you can just like nope out of a boss and go and grind elsewhere.
Yeah.
It's not an easy mode as in, enemies do less damage and they have less health. It's an easy mode in the sense that there's so many options where you can yourself get stronger or get new abilities. Or
also you can get bows and arrows and stuff like that as well. So you could just range them and then just run off.
Yeah, exactly. And also the controversial among the Soulsborne hardcore magic builds. Just go in as a magic user and just obliterate everything from range.
Not as easy as you think, apparently.
Okay. Well, I'll be interested to see when I play it.
I imagine maybe that means some of the bosses might have been designed against that. They're more
maybe
up in your face.
Oh yeah. Don't stand underneath the boss's big hammer whilst he's swinging at you.
Yeah.
And you're
it's
trying
easy.
to cast
Just don't get hit.
Yeah.
Just roll out the way.
Easy, isn't it?
We gave you a
use the
Donkey
Kong
roll and
bongos.
avoid damage.
Fat roll everywhere. I usually play like a melee build on Soulsborne games, but I really wanted to go for like a melee magic hybrid because apparently I was watching Skillup's review, which has no spoilers whatsoever, thankfully. And he's saying that even if you are a melee user, they've woven magic into the game so naturally that even like full-on physical builds have an arsenal of spells that are useful and effective.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
That sounds good.
It does sound good. I quite like the sound of it.
Before it was definitely just like one or another, wasn't it? It was.
Before it was like get 30 faith or else you can't even hold the wand.
Yeah.
And now it's apparently you can cast spells out your freaking greatsword just because it's cool It is cool. That's all I ever wanted. Yeah.
What you need, right? Great Sword of Doom.
Great Sword of Doom.
So
I've seen also that. Oh, what are you going to say, Carl? Sorry.
I was going to say, so it's safe to assume we're all going to get Elden Ring then, yeah?
We are all going to get Elden Ring.
We
And we're all
are
going to play
all.
co-op, right?
Yeah, we could do.
We can definitely play co-op because that's not
Yeah.
cheating, right?
No, definitely
No,
not cheating.
I've also seen that the co-op in Elden Rings is far easier than previous Soulsborne games. So, like Bloodborne, you got like a friend code, like you were playing on the Switch or something, and you had to invite them in, and horrendous, awful.
And then the connection was shaky, so you couldn't guarantee after you did all that they'd still be there.
Yeah, but I've seen that the co-op experience for Elden Ring is far superior to any other game in the Soulsborne catalog. So I would like to try this co-op with both of you, just to show you how it's done, really.
Yeah. I agreed to that without realizing what you were saying. I was like, yes, I agree with this point. Hang on a
just be
minute.
like, oh yeah, Stu, you distract the boss, and I'll stand over here and watch you die.
Get good, screw up.
I mean, you could cheese it, I suppose, if one of you just tanked and rolled around under the boss while the other just stood back with magic. Yeah.
You're assuming that I'm any good at evading.
Exactly.
Or tanking.
Yeah.
Or a game.
You think I'm a gamer? What? Let's talk about the next thing I've put on the list, in the sense that there's been a lot of technical problems. Have either of you seen these technical problems, at least spoken about? I know you're on like a media blackout, Carl, but I don't know if you've heard any of the negative feedback about the game.
I think it's just it's working better on certain consoles. So certain consoles are struggling to keep the frame rates going.
Yeah.
And they're sort of like skipping every now and then.
Yeah.
But it's nothing game breaking. It's
No.
not as far as I know. So
there's no game breaking bugs. Yeah.
You don't fall through the floor every 5 seconds.
No, just every half an hour instead.
Yeah. So I can deal with that half hour. Yeah.
It's a bit stuttery apparently on some consoles.
Yeah. So it's unplayable on PC from a frame rate point of view. The PC build is clearly the worst.
Unless you have.
Yeah, like, they've got the Packard Bell 97.
Yeah.
Even on Nvidia 3090s, the frame rate's awful. Since the day one patch.
I've seen people stream it though, and they seem to be totally fine. So I'm not sure whether they're obviously just console or whatever, but I'd imagine they're PC.
You'd think so. I know. Come back to Skillup's review. He played it before the day one patch, and he reported that there were no stuttering issues in that, and this was on PC.
Yeah.
And that those issues came in after the day one patch, which was supposed to make the game more stable. So I was watching Digital Foundry as well, just on the technical breakdown. So their advice is the PS5 and the Xbox Series X versions are almost identical in the sense that they drop frames both to the same degree. They both stutter occasionally. It's nowhere near as bad as the PC version, but you've got two options really. If you want to play at a stable frame rate with a decent looking visuals, so a high enough fidelity, for the PS5 your option is use the PS4 app, which is only available if you buy the digital version. If you got the disc version, you're stuck with the PS5 version. Yes, you'll get a higher fidelity, but you're looking at playing in performance mode where you're supposed to get a lock 60, you'll end up having about 40 frames a second.
Yeah. Which still isn't bad.
Xbox Series. No, it's not terrible, but
stable 40 is better than a janky.
That's
60.
the problem. It's not a stable 40. It jumps from 40 to 50 to almost 60, back down to 40. So the frame rates are all over the place, which is where some of the stutters come in. The Xbox Series X is practically only playable if you've got a VRR display, so variable refresh rate. But those are not widely available. Not everyone has a VRR display. I don't have an Xbox either, but
no, and they're not typically in TVs. Is that right?
No. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. As far as I'm aware, I don't know any TVs that have VRR display. I'm sure there are some, but I haven't seen any. And I am TV shopping at the moment. But it's mainly like monitors, monitors that are VRR capable.
Yeah.
So if you have a VRR display, your best option is Xbox with a VRR display. If you don't have a VRR display, your best option is PS5, but play the PS4 version because then it uses the PS4 Pro coding, and then you'll get near enough lock 60 frames a second, and I think it's upscaled checkerboarded resolution.
I think there was
18.
actually talk about it on PS5. It was struggling on PS5, but if you went back to the PS4, it was fine.
Yeah.
So it was
But if
like,
you play, I think if you play the PS4 Pro version on the PS4 Pro, then you still get the same problems. You need the PS5 to play the PS4 Pro version to get that stable frame rate.
Yeah.
bruh.
I didn't think I was a frame rate whore until the PS5 generation, Xbox Series X generation, because I suppose it was never really widely available to us. I absolutely can tell the difference between 30 frames a second and 60 frames a second now.
Yeah, you
Whereas
can
before
now,
I would, I
We've
can
been
now.
spoiled.
Yeah. That's one other thing I'd say about Horizon. I don't play it on performance mode. I play it on fidelity because the game is so good looking, and the hit to the fidelity to get it 60 frames a second is too much. Far too much. So I am actually happy playing that at 30 frames a second. But it's fine. But anyway, we'll move back onto Elden Ring. I just want to say that quickly. What do you two think about that? Are you completely bothered about frame rate at all? I can't say that I'm completely arsed because every other Soulsborne game has had terrible frame rates. I'm kind of used to it.
So it's already a step up from the rest of them because it's like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
People forget that this is the best version of a Soulsborne game still, even with the problems.
The thing is, I'd rather play it with a stable frame rate rather than, quality. Because I think a Dark Souls type game, or Bloodborne especially, it's the gameplay rather than the graphics. So
like you can't have somebody swinging out of nowhere when they look 5 miles away because it stutters. Like, you know what I mean? You just can't have that.
Yeah, in such a punishing game, you're absolutely right. Yeah, and you don't play it for the visual. The areas can look amazing. You don't have to have it in the highest fidelity though.
Exactly. So I'll probably stick with that whole PS4 version.
Yeah. However, saying that, I think a patch came out today, but I haven't seen any updated performance reviews yet. So hold that thought. It may be better.
That'll be a next week project then.
Yeah. Okay. We'll bring this back up next week then. Do you want to move on?
There is GT7.
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 When's
There
this
was
out?
one Gamebyte score 70. Difficult to recommend unless you like cars.
Yeah.
Who would buy a driving game for like anything else other than the cars? I don't understand where he's coming from with that.
Well, I've set these out, and I might have to because I've opened the tabs here. So where is it? There we go. So yeah, I've set these out in order just to give us all an idea of the range of scores.
Okay.
So we've got a total of 88 on Metacritic.
Mecha Cricket. That sounds like a great game. Mecha Cricket.
Metal Cricket, yeah, I got you.
Yeah, quite rightly, as you say. Gamebite. The quote I took away from that review, all it was difficult to recommend unless you love cars. Well, no shit. Are you serious?
Exactly. It's a driving simulator. Oh, I hate cars, but I love
So Gamebite gave it a 70, which is it's a good score in the grand scheme of things, but when it comes to a first-party Sony game, I mean, Days Gone I think got 77, and that was panned critically, and it deserved way more than a 77 as far as I understand. And Kyle, I'm sure you agree.
Yeah, apparently, I mean, I've been playing it on the PS5. Apparently, it had frame rate issues, as you would expect with some of the things that happened during the game.
Yeah,
on
like
a
the hordes
PS4, I can't imagine, but
yeah. But IGN's review was slightly more forgiving. So this is the quote, IGN. Gran Turismo 7 is the most welcoming GT ever, with dozens of hours of curated races and tasks designed to induct a new generation of players into the classic GT experience. End quote. So IGN gave it a 90. I'll just quickly whip up the VGC score, and then we'll start talking about it, and you can lead us on that, Parky. So, VGC, not as kind as the others, gave it a 60. And the lead quote I got from VGC: if you can suffer the clunky menus and endless dull dialogue, there's an excellent racing game underneath. End quote. So we've got a range of reviews from IGN, very favourable, GameBite, bit ridiculous, but alright, not a terrible score, and VGC clearly just didn't
Outright.
like it at all.
Oh, it's got clunky menus. Yeah, it's a driving simulator. It's not
I
known
think
for its menus.
whoever reviewed it for VGC needed to take GameBite's advice.
Yeah. I think whoever reviewed it just doesn't like driving games. I reckon he might be a sports game fan. But that's insane.
Yeah.
Like, the menus have always been a little difficult to get used to if you're not used to the, side scrolling, or I think it was Gran Turismo 2 or 3 on the PS1, PS2.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you had literally like a little mouse that you had to move around the screen. It was so slow.
Yeah.
But yeah, the menus have never been good. But that's Gran Turismo, man. You don't play it for the menus.
I've just scrolled down a little bit in this review, and I missed this earlier, but I want to read this out as well. So it was reviewed by a guy called Jordan Midler. Never heard of him, but I'm sure he's a great reviewer. Maybe. Gran Turismo 7 feels like someone letting you drive their incredibly expensive supercar, but only if you drive under 30 miles an hour and stay on suburban streets. Great.
Yes. Thanks for this supercar. Yeah, you got to stay around here. Don't go past the red line, boys. All right.
I disagree with your score, Jordan, but you're clearly a comedic genius. Do we think 88's I think 88's a great score, especially for a niche genre like racing. What do you reckon?
I think it's a difficult to judge game.
Yes.
Because you have to, as weird as it sounds, you have to enjoy the game to be able to play it. It's not. I don't think Gran Turismo has ever been something, except for maybe the very first ones, that a casual player could just pick up and go, "Oh yeah, I'm having fun." Because at the forefront, it doesn't have a story mode. It has always been you pick a car, you pick a track, and you race. You've got no. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you've got no reason for race. I don't know whether there's unlockables or anything like that. I haven't played.
There is unlockables.
Yeah, I think the newer ones have a sort of story mode. It's like a career mode, and it's sort of like all the other. But yeah. So the unlockables you could get just by earning your money all the way through, and then just buying it and the parts and stuff, just like normal garage, isn't it?
But I seem to remember as well from GT3, you could really go into the gritty details of the car, like adjusting the torque and things like that, and adjusting your suspension. And I don't know if that's still in it, but I had no idea what I was doing as a kid. I just thought it was really cool.
But that's ultimately what it comes down to. It's that sort of game where you look at Forza and you look at Need for Speed, and I'm sure there was another one, maybe Burnout, I guess.
Yeah,
they're all
Dirt 5. I mentioned that a few weeks ago.
Burnout Paradise was sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're all kind of open worldy, so it doesn't really need a storyline. But you drive from one place to another, so you don't rely on menus. Whereas Gran Turismo is more a racing sim.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I think it depends on who reviews it. If you like racing games and you like the cars and you like accurate tracks, you're probably more likely to give it higher to 100 than you are for somebody that loves driving around to go from mission to mission to do drag races.
Yeah. So I suppose the only recent racing game we've had worth note is Forza Horizon 5, but like you quite rightly said, this is a racing sim, not an open world racer. So maybe it isn't fair to compare those two games.
Yeah, I mean they're both racing games at heart, but the fundamentals between one and the other are night and day.
Yeah. Night and day. So
I suppose, and only because I haven't put any weeb content in the rest of the script. It's like comparing an action RPG to a JRPG, right?
Like comparing a first-person shooter to an on-rail shooter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
You kind of you shoot in both games, but one you got no control, and one you just run around. There you go.
Yeah. But they are both shooting games. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Agree.
Agree. Yes. Yes. Right. Okay. So I think we're all agreed. 88's a fair score, and clearly some reviewers just don't know a good thing when they see it. I'm not a racing game fan, but I I think I would enjoy Gran Turismo 7 because I do like realism. I just don't know anything about cars, so if it asks me to tune something, I'll do it wrong. I wanted to raise
But
this quite entertaining article. Not article. It was a quote from Stevivor themselves, and Stevivor's an Australian review outlet. I suppose well respected in the industry, so I've seen, but and this is a direct quote from their website. They have a blog post, and it's simply titled, "Where is Stevivor's Gran Turismo 7 review?" So, quote, "Don't worry, it's coming. If you're reading this, you're likely curious as to whether or not Stevivor will publish a Gran Turismo 7 review tonight at 10 p.m. AEDT. I don't know what time zone that is." That's not in the quote. Continue quote. "The answer is simple. It's not ready as it hasn't been started. Over the past 2 weeks, Sony Interactive Entertainment Australia (bracket PlayStation Australia) close bracket, and its contracted PR agency Poem have only responded to 2 attempts at communication by Stevivor. One was to acknowledge an email sent about Horizon Forbidden West, and the other stated that PlayStation Australia was unable, in air quotes, to request a Gran Turismo 7 review code. Further emails asking for additional comment were ignored. Phone calls either rang out or diverted to voicemail and were never returned, and text messages, including an offer to connect PlayStation Australia with a contact other than myself, were not replied to, apart from automated Android OS read receipts." So, effectively, Stevivor has been blacklisted by Sony PR, and the reason for that may be this next tab that I've got open. I don't know if you've either seen this, both of you have seen this in the Discord that I've posted. Survivor's past review scores. I'll just run through these very quickly. We'll start with Sony first party games. Horizon Forbidden West, 65. Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection, 70. Ghosts of Tsushima, 70.
Sorry.
Last of Us, yeah,
Sorry.
yeah,
70. Last of Us Part 2, 80. Bearing in mind, Last of Us Part 2 is one of the most critically acclaimed games released in recent memory. Death Stranding, 35. Hideo Kojima's game, Death Stranding, just 35. All right, yeah, it was niche, but come on. Days Gone, sorry, Kyle, 60.
Well, that's obviously why they've been blacklisted. They haven't got a fucking clue
Well,
what they're talking about.
It gets worse. We'll move on to the Microsoft games. Halo Infinite, 95.
Sorry.
Forza Horizon 5, 100. Psychonauts 2, 90. Microsoft Flight Simulator, 95.
I'm
Gears
starting to see a
Tactics.
pattern here.
Oh, yeah. Gears Tactics, 85. Forza Horizon 4, 90. So whereas not a single Sony first party game reached above 85. Well, no, 80 was their highest score for Sony first party. The lowest first party score for Microsoft is 85. And yes, we're all fans of Sony. I wouldn't go as far as saying any of us are fanboys. It seems to me as though there's a strong bias towards Microsoft and from the outlet Stevivor, and this could well be exactly why they've been blacklisted. What do you think? Do you think there's any bias? Is it that obvious?
It does look pretty obvious, right? It looks pretty bad. It does look pretty bad.
I mean, what do you think about that
everyone the
Ghost of
benefit of
Tsushima
doubt.
score?
Maybe he really was a Psychonauts fan.
I mean, oh no, Psychonauts look really good. To be fair, I could have played it on PS4. I just didn't want to. But Ghost of Tsushima 70. What was the total
Hmm.
Metacritic score for Ghost of Tsushima? Ghost of Tsushima.
I mean, I wish I could say it's unintentional bias, but it just sounds, oh, accidentally. Hey, look, this Microsoft game. Yeah, we'll give it that. It deserved it. Oh, we'll give it that. Oh no, I didn't really like this one.
Yeah.
But
So
there's too many games.
whereas Ghost of Tsushima's average on Metacritic was 83, they gave it a 70, which by today's standard is not great. I don't understand how you could play a game like Ghost of Tsushima, how you could play a game like Horizon Forbidden West. Horizon Forbidden West only got 65 from Survivor. How you can play those games, and then you can go and play Microsoft Flight Simulator and give it a 95. So, yeah, I don't know. I just thought that would be interesting to raise because they've clearly publicly tried to besmirch Sony PR. And in fairness, sometimes Sony PR deserves besmirchment. But in this case, I think Survivor have well and truly reaped what they sowed.
Yeah, 100%, man. That's I mean, if they were a bit smarter about it, then they probably wouldn't have got caught. But they were so obvious. It's like,
I mean, the advice is, become unbiased if you are potentially biased, and pay for your copy like everybody else and review it a few days later.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they've had to resort to. Or just become a Microsoft outlet. If you're such a fan of Microsoft games, become a Microsoft outlet and just avoid all of the criticism. The one thing I will say is that some of these reviews are from independent reviewers. But there's obviously a level of selection when it comes to who you're going to put on your website from independent reviewers. So editorial chiefs will no doubt take in a range of reviews and select what they think is best for their website. And it seems as though who is ever in charge of curating these reviews may or may not prefer the Xbox platform, dare I say. But anyway, Parky, this next topic you brought up, so take it away.
oh man, Call of Duty Zombies coming out as a standalone. Let's bring that up. Obviously, it's the second edition of the Chronicles because the first one came out for Black Ops 3. I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
The
so that was the
Chronicles. It was
collection of
just
all
all the maps all slapped into one.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering where they're gonna go. Are they gonna do, like the old maps, like the decent ones, or are they gonna do the new ones that a lot of people are complaining about? How are they gonna work the zombies? But yeah, I'm really excited for it. Should be really amazing.
What was wrong with the new ones? I'm not.
It was
an avid builder.
the zombie AI itself more than the maps.
Right. Okay.
So they were tanky, like even at like level, I think it was round 7 or 8. Your weapons just struggled, whereas in all the other games it was like not too bad. They were easy enough to train if you could train them, but it just takes so much ammo just to drop a few of them that it just ended up being really difficult.
Right. Okay. Is there? I know there was like a loose Easter egg type story to the first Chronicles or set of zombies maps. Is that remaining?
There
in
are
the
Easter eggs that go all the way through. Actually, there's still Easter eggs now in the one that we played, Modern Warfare. There was Easter eggs in that. I believe there was Easter eggs in the new one, but like I said, I haven't picked up Vanguard because reasons unto myself.
I can't say I'm hugely excited for zombies, only because I think I fell off zombies around Black Ops 2. Is that the one with the bus at the start?
Transit.
Yeah, Transit. That's it. That was the last zombies I really put any time into.
That was a Easter egg that took me so long to do, man. It's just you have to do so much just to get the simplest thing there because the map was huge. A lot of people didn't like it. I mean, once you do your basic things and know where you're going, kind of gets easier with time, as most of the zombie maps do. But one of my favorite ones was Mob of the Dead. I think that was also Black Ops 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a great one.
Have you played much
Basically,
zombies?
you were old school gangsters locked up in prison, but then you were cycling through. Yeah,
in Alcatraz.
Alcatraz. Yeah, and you were cycling
play
through,
it, yeah.
basically reliving your dream or
I
reliving the
liked
death or whatever.
I liked that map because you could finish it, couldn't you?
Yeah.
I think that's what I missed from most zombies levels, in the sense that I wanted to be able to get to a certain point that I was comfortable and then be able to finish it.
Yeah, so a lot of the newer zombie Easter eggs now, they do like you finish it, you kill the final boss, and then it ends.
Okay.
Or even on Modern Warfare, I want to say, or the last Call of Duty,
Or is it Cold War?
Cold War. Yeah, you went through and you could like get an escort helicopter or something come pick you up, so you can leave the map at any time.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, interesting.
So you didn't have to go down to, yeah. So zombies has changed a lot, but then they've gone back to, I think, the old sort of ways with the new one.
Okay. Have you got much experience with zombies, Kyle? Or
I've played it a little bit, but my problem is I feel like you always need people to play it with.
yeah,
And then you always need to do background checks and research and figure out how to do everything. At which point you then go and play it, and you're like, oh well, I've just basically copied a guide to do it, because there's no way you'd figure out how to do it all yourself, you know.
No, true. Yeah,
Zombies is essentially a word of mouth game where you play it with friends, and then your friend knows a friend who knows a bit, you know, how to get slightly further and knows which teddy bear to shoot off the cliff, or which bottle to break, and which zombie to knife before you run up this flight of stairs and dolphin dive back
Yeah,
down.
I want them to bring out an Outbreak, because Outbreak was so much fun. It was like an open world. You run through, you kill zombies, you get better gear, you then level up and go through to the next wave. The next wave's harder, but it's just a completely new open world map.
Yeah, like
And if they brought something like that out, that would be fun.
That would be a great idea for it, but you know, just what it is at the moment, it's not for me. I don't have the time to try and figure out a puzzle game within a zombie game.
No, that's fair. I agree. That's the only thing that puts me off zombies: the intense research, the degree in zombies that you require before playing. I suppose zombies adjacent. I would like to see Extinction return. Do you remember this?
That's the weird little dog aliens, right?
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Was that Ghosts?
It was Ghosts. I'm sorry to bring up Ghosts. I really liked Call of Duty Ghosts. Why does Call of Duty Ghosts get so much shit?
I like what they did with the nukes as well. Like you can earn it from a little thing, and it doesn't end the game. It just makes everything dodgy. Changes the
map. Yeah.
Yeah. See, that was a good idea.
And it killed everyone on the map, but the game carried on. It was cool. I'd love to see Extinction come back, because I thought that was really good game mode. And it was, like I say, you could complete it. There was different levels, and you could complete them in different ways. It didn't require hours and hours and hours of research to complete it, because it was, you get your objective, you fight your way through, you buy upgrades on the way through. If you get to the end, great. If you don't, try again. But you level up.
And they had their own Easter egg as well, didn't they? Like
it did, yeah. I can't remember what it was, but they definitely had one.
Something to do with the alien queen or something, I don't know.
Yeah. And I remember the last map on that I could never finish. I tried so hard and I just couldn't do it.
Is that the one in the cave? Like a purplish cave?
I can't remember. Or was it a DLC one? It was in the snow, I think. I can't remember.
Oh, no idea.
But anyway, that's zombies adjacent. Like I said, I'd love to see Extinction. That'd be really cool. I suppose, well, they're supposed to be coming 2023, isn't it? Alongside Warzone 2. Yeah, Warzone 2. No, is that?
So maybe they might, even though they say they might bring out a new COD, maybe they're just gonna,
zombies,
just bun it off, do zombies and modern Warzone 2 zombies, and then the next year bring out a COD.
Yeah, split the franchise. So instead of the whole we'll do one, we'll do a Call of Duty game a year, but with 2 different sort of developers / publishers, and then
sort of
they'll
like they
balance
used
it
to.
between them. Yeah, they'll do it with zombies and I guess.
Maybe. That's interesting, actually. I never thought of that.
I suppose they'll
I did
try
want
that,
to.
and they'll realise that zombies sells about a quarter of the copies at Call of Duty, and then they'll scrap
Well, I
it.
was thinking of this today, because obviously Call of Duty's not coming out next year. We know there's a delay now for the first time since 2005. Did we say something like that?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, why have they now made the decision that they're able to delay it? And I don't think it's got anything to do with Microsoft, because they don't own Activision yet. They've got no say in whether Activision delays a game because the acquisition hasn't gone through. I think what it is because the agreement's on the table, and they've obviously opened up Call of Duty to all platforms to satiate the regulators. I think that Activision are feeling comfortable in the sense that they've agreed a $15 per share price with Microsoft. So they don't give a shit anymore whether their stock price tanks. They can do anything they want. They could skip a year with Call of Duty and their share price absolutely plummets. It's fine because they've got an agreement for $15 a share, and that's going nowhere. Microsoft want Activision. Activision want to be bought by Microsoft. But this is the time that they can use where their stock price doesn't matter to them anymore for the first time in Activision's history. So they can, we won't have a Call of Duty this year. Yeah, we'll make a zombies compilation and that'll be the only entry we put out this year. It's the perfect time for them to actually experiment. Do you think I'm crazy, or have I got something there?
I think that makes sense because it's like when you've got, say the rich uncle, let's call him, stood there, just like, you do
Rich
what you
Uncle
want.
Phil.
We'll have some fun, yeah. It's like, all right, cheers. I'm gonna go down the shop with this £50 note and just buy all the sweets I can.
I'm gonna buy myself some dip dabs.
Oh yeah, dippers dabbers.
Dippers dabbers. What do you reckon, Carl? Am I nuts, or do you think I've got some? Think I'm onto something here?
You might be onto something, but
I might be on something as well.
Yeah, I'm always like the guy. I'm always the guy that turns around and says, "Yeah, but money," and I don't want to bring logic into it. So I'd like to think you're right, and I'm gonna end it at that.
Fair enough.
So next week, Parky was right.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Moving on. I don't know if you want to say anything more about Zombies, Parky.
Just that I'm hyped, and I hope they don't destroy the franchise.
Tell you what, if it's good, I'll play with you.
That's decent.
Cool. Tomorrow we are seeing the release of Babylon's Fall, a new game from Platinum Games, developers of Bayonetta, Vanquished, Nier Automata. I've just listed some excellent games. I'm sure we can all agree.
2 of which are my favorite games of all time.
Yep, Nier and Nier.
Nier Automata.
2 Niers.
Yeah, well,
2 Niers don't make a 4.
It's awful.
So
bad.
Bad jokes, ladies and gentlemen.
Before I want to get on to what I want to say, is Babylon's 4 on any of our radars? Have you looked forward to it, Kyle? Have you looked forward to it, Parky?
Didn't even know it was coming out.
Excellent. Right.
So,
okay.
No.
Well, I was downloading a demo, but that's about it.
Played.
That's about as far as I got.
I've played the demo. I have thoughts. They're not good. So I've literally just screenshot the text I sent you, Parky.
Yeah.
I'll just read it verbatim. So, quote me. Clunky. Looks awful. The 4 weapons thing is a needless gimmick. The loot isn't great. Seeing 4 sets of 4 weapons flying all over the screen in multiplayer means you can't see shit. All enemies are damage sponges like in Division 2. The AI is broken, so some enemies just sit there while you wail on them. No story, so to speak. live service, low effort game. I am so disappointed because when they first announced Babylon's Fall, I thought, holy shit, Square Enix and Platinum Games, two of my all-time favorite developer publishers, coming together to make a game. There is no way this can fail. And then it failed. It's not even out yet. It comes out tomorrow, but the demo, my god, there is no way this game's changing from the space of the demo being released. I think it came out last week to the release date of tomorrow. I'll expand on some of the points, I guess. It's clunky because controls are not responsive. If you jump near an object, you'll kind of like hit the collision box of like the object, but you won't quite be standing on it, so you'll just end up floating in the air. You know what I mean by that? So like,
yeah, so
there'll be an
near
invisible
suffered from the
extension.
same thing. So it's like you're stood on high heels or like stilts for no reason.
Yeah. The graphics are terrible. The first instance you see of the graphics are the character creator, and it looks like a PS3 game. You remember the old hair where it's essentially just like a coloured mesh on top of someone's head?
Yeah, like a
Yep.
coloured bit
Yeah.
that moves in one block.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
going from Horizon, where each single strand of Aloy's hair is individually animated and flows with the wind and moves with the direction you're facing, and when she turns her head, it flows naturally over her shoulder, to mesh on head. Very disappointing. The 4 weapons thing, like, the whole premise of the game is you become a sentinel. So you get this thing slapped on your back, and it kind of just like projects the shape of 4 weapons behind you. It's kind of like the Armiger from Final Fantasy 15, but
Okay,
worse.
cool.
So imagine budget Noctis. Like 99p store Noctis. He's only got 4 weapons instead of all 13 or however many there were. There's absolutely no need for it. Sure, you could, if you could equip 4 weapons in 4 slots and cycle between them, that would be great. But the problem with this is those weapons are permanently projected behind you. So not only have you got, if you're playing multiplayer, everyone else's set of weapons flying around and flying towards the enemy, and particle effects, which are very poor, may I add, flying all over the screen. But also, because the camera is so close to the back of your character, all you can really see is like this ghostly silhouette of a weapon, and then your character's meshy hair, and then maybe a little bit of the enemy you're wailing on for half an hour. There's no need to have them behind you, because it adds nothing to the game other than the fact that it reminds you constantly you've got some other weapons to use. There are combos, but there's no combos, so to speak. I don't know whether they were trying to let you chain combos between the 4 different weapons, but if they were, it didn't work very well, or I just didn't master it very well. The enemies, do you remember early Division 2 where red enemies would take 3 or 4 clips to kill, and they'd down you in one shot?
That would gold easily, and then like
Yeah. This game suffers the same problem. The enemies are almost immortal, and when you take into account the AI, so they'll just stare at you while you're completely just absolutely smashing them to pieces over and over and over and over and over again, and your teammates are flanking them from left and right and behind, and they'll just sit there and they don't do anything because they don't have to, because it's still going to take you half an hour to kill them. So the challenge isn't in that the enemies are overpowered and kill you in one shot.
Having enough time to kill them before you need to go out down the shops.
Exactly. It costs you time. So I didn't understand the story. Yes, it was a demo, and it doesn't go much into the story. I don't know if the full release is going to have a better story, but it didn't do a good job of explaining the story in the demo. And there's live service elements. There isn't anything pay to win. as far as I'm aware, it's all cosmetic. But when the game looks this bad, it doesn't matter what cosmetic you slap on your character, it's still going to look awful. And I genuinely think this game has suffered the same as Marvel's Avengers, where the live service element has potentially taken up the most time of planning, and the rest of the game has fallen short. I really, really wanted this game to be good. I'm so disappointed. So I don't know. What do you two think after my barrage of insults?
I mean, yeah, I could see just by looking at the pictures, man. That is one chunky mace, and it is covering half the screen.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
the
whole game like that. You've got 4 people, but then I'm straight away looking at like add-ons, and it's like, oh, 74 quid for 10,000 garaz or whatever garaz is. I'm guessing it's their currency. You know what I mean? So they're already trying to get people.
This is exactly what I mean by the live service elements clearly ruin the game, because that's all they cared about. Clearly, that's all they cared about. There's no effort put into this game whatsoever. Because I spent more time trying to spin the camera just so I could see what I was doing than actually looking at my weapons and thinking, oh, they look cool, or oh, look at that combo I pulled off. I didn't care.
And that's not what a game should be.
Absolutely not. No. So I guess you haven't even seen anything of this, Kyle. But does this sound appealing to you at all? I know I haven't painted it in a good light, but
I mean, if we're talking PS1 games, then yeah, it sounds revolutionary.
Sure.
But...
I mean, 4-player co-op sounds cool. 4-player hack and slash looter sounds cool. 4-player hack and slash looter that. Hey, didn't we have this with Godfall, which was also awful? Oh my god. I love looter shooters. You love looter shooters.
Yeah, looter
Both
shooters.
of you love looter shooters. We met through looter shooters. We met Parky through looter shooters. A looter slasher. I would love a looter. I love medieval style games, fantasy games. To implement the loot into that would be cool, I think, and no one has done it right so far.
Imagine Dynasty Warriors on steroids. That's what this could have been.
Oh, I'm so let down. I feel so dejected today because of this. Because when I fired up that demo yesterday, thought, right, this'll be awesome. I'm going to enjoy this. I logged on. I was like, right. Oh, and this is another thing I forgot to mention. You can't even play it unless you make a Square Enix account. I have a Square Enix account, but I couldn't remember what the login was, so I had to make a new one. If you don't make a Square Enix account, you don't play the game.
That sounds about right for an online sort of Square Enix game.
Yeah, but even like...
Didn't you have to have one for Outriders?
Yes.
So...
No, and did you need one? I'm not sure.
I think you had to make one.
Yeah, I think you are right, yeah. So I probably should have...
for Final Fantasy Online you have to, so...
Yeah, you do, yeah, but it's a subscription-based game, isn't it? So I can understand that. Yeah, I forgot you had to have one for Outriders, but the difference is Outriders was really good.
Sorry, did I throw some logic in the mix there?
Yeah, but look, Outriders was good. Outriders was really good. This is not at all. I'd highly suggest that everyone skips this. There isn't any, for me, there's no redeeming qualities. And if you want a mindless hack and slash with minimal challenge but maximum time sink, go ahead. And I suppose if you've got cataracts and can't see anything, that would be help.
This sounds like a game for me.
Hey.
All right.
Yeah, that's all I've got to say about that.
So it comes down to the last part then, all right, guys? Closing comments.
Closing comments. Kyle, take it away. I've got
comments.
I don't have any fun, quirky little facts this week for you, I'm afraid.
God damn it. Relying on them.
Boo, Carl, boo.
The intestines of an elephant may be 19 meters in length or more than 60 feet long. There you go, elephant fun fact for you. I came prepared even though I didn't have anything.
Thanks.
It's alright.
Genius. What about you, Steve?
No. Nothing to say. I still feel dejected. Like, I'm so disappointed in Babylon's Fall. But I'm just going to go back to Horizon and forget about it. So, yeah. My closing comments are go and buy Horizon.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And Elden Ring.
And Elden Ring, but I'm going to, yeah, but not before me.
Yeah, okay.
I've only really got one. And,
Hmm?
you know, with everything going on in the world today, it's going to be a bit serious, right? So
Oh.
I just hope everyone's doing all right. Everyone who listens to our YouTube and maybe listening on Twitch or whatever when we stream live, just, you know, thanks. And take care, all right?
Well said. Yeah. Take care, everyone.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure as usual.
It has, gents.
Hopefully the next week will be slightly more news rich because let's be fair, everything came out today.
Yeah, I tend to find you always get a lull after the storm. You have all this anticipation about big games, and so you can talk it up and you can talk about it. And then when they're released, it's kind of like, well, this came out and it's good. And that's it. There's no speculation anymore. It's just, it's good and this is why.
Yeah.
It's good, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'd
All
like to repeat your sentiment, Parky. I do hope everyone's okay. There's obviously some very serious things going on in the world right now. I won't give my opinion on it because I'll probably be disappeared.
The greatest magic trick. Be disappeared.
Yeah, in all seriousness, and I am through work, which no one will know where I work, and no one will know how to contribute. We are having a collection to send provisions. I'm a member of our charity committee at work, so we are actively trying to help in any way we can. I'd urge anyone, if you're able and willing, to donate, preferably material items rather than cash. And obviously, if you listen to this at the time of recording, you'll know exactly what we're on about. If you listen to this next year, don't worry about it. It's fine.
Well, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, we might be in a fallout shelter by then. Who knows?
But we'll
All
still
right.
keep true. We'll still keep going every week.
Every week, new podcast over the radio.
Morse code podcast. Right. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure again.
It has, as always.
I've enjoyed
Always a
Parky
joy.
taking the lead this week. It's taken some strain off me, and I've just been lay back. It's
Yeah.
very nice.
Like me every week.
Every week, Button Monkey.
Next week, hosted by Kyle.
You wish.
All right.
Right. Let's wrap it
Peace,
up.
guys.
Thank you, gents. I will
Thanks,
speak
guys.
to you soon.
Been a pleasure. Bye.
Ta-da.